Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna be checking out the final part of Suspect's story, and that's his trial. We all know that he got 24 years, and that's a really long time. He'll be in his mid-late 40s when he's out, unless something happens. But yeah, let's check it out.
After playing an active role in the murders of his gang rivals, C-Miz and Culprit, Suspect and S-Wavy of Active Gang had fled to Kenya, and Suspect managed to go on the musical run of a lifetime, spending about 2 years and 4 months recording music, openly bragging about the murders he'd committed in gruesome detail, all the while evading and taunting the police who were desperately trying to solve this case. Meanwhile, prominent Active Gang member Armed Response, or AR, failed to get out of the country before the police could find him, ultimately getting convicted and sentenced to life in prison. By the time Suspect had been caught and extradited back to the UK, it seemed like AR had settled into his incarceration. He would go live seemingly from inside his cell on June the 4th, 2022, smiling.
People from the UK, let me know what does it mean to do life in prison in the UK, because it's different in each country. Some people, you have to spend the rest of your life until you die, and then the state will bury you. In other countries, you'll do a certain amount of time, then you're eligible to leave. So let me know how it is in the UK. So will AR like stay there forever and ever until he dies, or what's gonna happen?
Smiling as commenters bring up the deaths of C-Miz and Culprit. He was surrounded by goons bumping Youngboy's song Forgiato, where he claimed to have killed over 7 people.
What's your name? What's your name?
Hey, you're from the AGB, right? I said I got C-Miz, you know, Culprit Pack. Yeah, man.
Told him AR fam.
This was the fate that Suspect was potentially facing, and
You know, it's really crazy to me that this guy is already serving a sentence, but he's still making fun of this, you know, this pack. It's like these people really don't give up. Yeah? He's like, he has nothing to lose anymore. He's there for life. That's crazy. You know how people can have like a lighter sentence, or they have you doing like, you know, have you earning money by doing jobs in the prisons, by having good behavior. He doesn't care about that. He's there for life.
this was the fate that Suspect was potentially facing, and after his extradition in January, 6 months later, around the time of AR's live, Suspect would seemingly also get access to the internet, beginning to post to Twitter again in June and August of 2022, tweeting boastfully about how his ops still mention his name after the murders he committed, tweeting Free Double S in reference to himself and S-Wavy, who along with SY, who was still on the run in Somalia at this point, previously made up the deadly trio Triple S. Suspect would seemingly reflect on some of the clout-chasing slip-ups that landed him in jail, tweeting, "God forgive me for getting lost in the source," and social media blurring too many lines, as well as tweets indicating he feels like his life has been a movie.
Because let's be honest, it's social media that gave him up. If we didn't have all this technology, nobody would have ever found him. He would have gotten away with it.
As well as another optimistic post suggesting that he believes he'll be free by 2023. Later, he would go on a series of tweets suggesting that he's having dark thoughts that he cannot say out loud, or he'll be sectioned under the Mental Health Act, as well as bigging himself up, saying he's really that guy, just wait and see, perhaps another indication that he thought he might be able to beat these charges. Perhaps that explains his next tweet, appearing to suggest that he's not really a killer and that he's just a music performer, a villain character, with drill music being all entertainment. Going on to reach pretty hard with a statement saying how if an actor catches a case, they won't play his movie in court, but they're going to play Suspect's music. He was seemingly lacking the self-awareness to really see the difference between a trained actor playing a character in a narrative work of fiction and the confessional drill raps of a man who blatantly committed murder.
Now, him comparing himself to an actor, yeah, I see where he's coming from, because I could possibly just watch a crime on TV being reported and, you know, put on a mask and act like I was the one who did it. And how can you prove that it was or it wasn't me? But at the same time, they have to have evidence to put you there at the time of the crime. So, you know, they never gave us details of what exactly they convicted him with. So, yeah.
Really lacking the self-awareness to really see the difference between a trained actor playing a character in a narrative work of fiction and the confessional drill raps of a man who blatantly committed murder and then made songs detailing the gruesome and true details of that murder. Many pictures and videos of Suspect from behind bars would emerge while he awaited trial, like this video where he's seen as part of a crew throwing up active gang signs while somebody gets a beating in jail. Another picture of him would surface on broad day Snapchat with the caption, "Free the Mastermind." And
like, I don't understand. Jail is supposed to reform someone, but they get even worse. Being locked up and treated like fucking animals. You could go crazy. Have you ever been in the house for like a few days without going outside and you feel like you're going crazy? Now imagine being there for, let's say, 24 years. You start going crazy, you become like an animal. So aggressive. That is crazy. And you're surrounded by other violent men. That is, bro, I don't see how jail is able to reform anyone. It just keeps you isolated from the world. I don't see how they help people. Because even the programs that are in there to change people, it's optional. If someone wants to change or not. It's not like it's a must. Whew.
With the caption, "Free the Mastermind." And another iconic photo of him living good in his cell wearing a Versace bathrobe. He would even record multiple freestyles via prison phones, which were uploaded online.
Fans love my lyricism. I told bro, good as that before your name, that's some constructive criticism. Mum said I'd never listen. Son, how you back in prison? I ain't have a father figure. Me and gang went different vision. Always trust my intuition. Never make a split decision. Follow first, forgot the second. Brothers learn from your lessons. Alhamdulillah, count my blessings. Gotta count the ammunition. If you lose the bells in the up, cause we never missing. Most loved, most hated, most wanted, most rated. Thankful for the real and genuine, cause trust me, most fake it. From a place if you slip, get your soul taken. I made more moves, more racks, and more pagans. Only time will tell, jail made me more patient. Even about it to my brothers, I'll be home soon. Until then, reminisce to my old tunes. 3 years, 3 blitz through my whole crew, gang.
Pretty face, I'm perfect from the waist down. I ain't trying to waste time. I had through the grapevine. I'm the man behind the plan. I'm the man behind your bitch when you call her trying to FaceTime. Back shots. Your beauty clapping when she face down. Headshot. The gun clapping till he's safe down. Hands down. I'm one of the villains to touch your mic. Red dot. Hands up. Don't move or to take your life. Happy struggling a side crew. I'm thinking wrong was right. So I had to fight. I went home a different guy. Money give me appetite. Love the calamari bites. We don't catch me in the cash. Then we catching flight. Taxi. Tech 9. Technique. Bullseye. She'll see a hole just for me. That's a true lie. Girl trip, I know what these hoes doing, go by. Boys trip, the steppers roll, looking for a new high. Numb to the pain, I'm surprised I'm still sane. Country on chain, I was SDR rain. It was not nice, it's the trap in the rain. Mom, there's no win in the game.
However, Peckwater member C2, who Suspect had previously mocked in a music video for working as a model, would post multiple times alluding to Suspect being jumped and beaten up in prison, saying that he's having a tough time in jail, and that there had been suspicious activity on D-Wing. Seemingly in response, Suspect would post mocking C2, posting a picture of him in a wig and saying that he likes to feel like a little lady, and congratulating him on trying to find himself and acting like a bad boy this year. C2, apparently in jail too during this time, would end up making his own jailhouse freestyle, named after Suspect's hit song Caught in the Rain, dissing dead ops from Active Gang. Despite the...
Yeah, I actually reacted to that freestyle from C2. Yeah, that's really funny. Anyway, Suspect said in his freestyle, that little freestyle, that he didn't have a father figure. And I feel really bad because now his little boy is going to miss out on having a father. He's going to grow up without his dad like being physically there. Even though they talk on the phone, that's not the same as being there in their everyday life. But, you know, we pray for the little boy. He'll be alright. He's got his mom.
Making his own jailhouse freestyle, named after Suspect's hit song Caught in the Rain, dissing dead ops from Active Gang. Despite the daily struggles of being the most wanted member of a prominent gang in jail, Suspect appeared to be optimistic while in prison, posting Instagram replies that he would be at Wireless Festival the next year, and that he would even be home soon. In November, Suspect would freestyle for his fellow inmates as they gathered around and cheered him on.
Got blowback, laugh when I see F1 cross rollback. Know that chatter you want, but you can't get your bros back. Run them
Too high, bud.
Parts where his hair won't grow back. Not my whole shank, hold that. Do up toast that Joe Van can't got feds like Siemens eyes, I don't wanna roll back. Bro said Mindy get done. I asked him, what does that mean? Bro, our shanks are covered in squeeze. Yeah, and give it a clean.
It would be over a year that Suspect would wait in jail for his trial before the day would finally come. He and S. Wavy would file not guilty pleas in June 2022, and so the trial for the murder of Alex Smith, aka Culprit, would begin on the 27th of March 2023 at the Old Bailey, and pictures would emerge showing Suspect in the dock in court smiling. Judge Sarah Monroe KC was the judge on the case.
Smiling.
She had gained national attention earlier in the year, making history being the first ever judge to hand down a sentence in a case that was televised live.
The sentence I pass upon you is therefore one of life imprisonment.
Initial reports on social media would circulate claiming that the pair would not be identified by their rap aliases, nor would their lyrics or music be used in court at all, as well as suggesting that the prosecution would mainly rely on cell site data to put Suspect at the scene, with other reports suggesting this wasn't accurate and that witnesses might not be able to identify Suspect. It would turn out that a lot of this social media reporting suggesting that the prosecution was struggling was complete cope. This same account also claimed that there was a man in the courtroom wearing a trap star puffer jacket and that he understood the culture and was going to get Suspect off. Now, it's unclear whether or not this was complete trolling or whether there was some truth to it, but due to these posts, many members of the UK drill subreddit and community were led to believe that Suspect had a much higher chance of freedom than he really did. On May the 10th, just days before the verdict, Suspect would be seen on social media FaceTiming his Kenyan wife Halima. Now, I wasn't able to find full court documents relating to the trial publicly, so it's unclear exactly what evidence was used against him. But some crime Twitter pages tweeted that a lot of interesting details came up during the trial. They used Suspect's many convictions as a youth offender, bringing up that he had a total of 18 convictions for 41 offences prior to the murder. They would also be told details about the ongoing gang war in Camden, which Suspect and Culprit had both been involved in. The court would also hear a victim impact statement from Culprit's mother, who said that she was haunted by the thought of her son being hunted by a pack of knife-wielding gangsters. However, Suspect's defence would emphasise that Suspect grew up in foster care and did not have intent to kill. The court would hear about how Suspect and S. Wavy fled the country after the murder and bragged about the murder in several songs, with Culprit's mother making direct references to lyrics from his freestyle, with it being reported that that song had been analysed in detail in court, with it likely that these lyrics about tripping up ops and stabbing them in the chest and leaving estates red-taped no doubt harmed his case dramatically. It's ironic that this freestyle that ended with him rapping about his op that didn't make it, and now that he's rapping about the murder he might make it, ended up sealing his fate. Other reports on social media that...
Oh my god, I didn't know they actually used his songs against him. Is it allowed to use, you know, like the creative aspect of music in court? That is crazy. Bro, because if they actually use this music, that sounds like self-snitching throughout. Oh my gosh. And this is somebody's mother who was listening to these bars as well when he was talking about his son. But let me ask you something. Wasn't the son also part of a gang? He didn't make it, he didn't make it. Rap about them, now I might just make it. He might make it in music and make all this money, but these niggas didn't make it because he finished them. My god, if these are the kind of bars they were referring to sentence him, yeah, then he definitely, you know, they most definitely had to lock him up. Damn. If you ain't holding a scan or having mansuit, then I'll never see you again. Damn. This is crazy news to me.
His op that didn't make it, and now that he's rapping about the murder he might make it, ended up sealing his fate. Other reports on social media that can't be verified suggested that numerous songs were played in court and that the judge was in disbelief when she heard them. Specifically lyrics such as "Who is the culprit?" and "It's ironic that they suspect me." Before the verdict, Suspect would post a message to his YouTube channel showing crossed fingers and heart emojis. But unfortunately for Suspect, his luck would finally run out. In the end, on the 10th of May 2023, both Suspect and S. Wavy would be found guilty for the murder of Alex Smith, after which they refused to participate in proceedings, failing to attend the sentencing. So, 2 days later, the sentence would be handed down in their absence, with Suspect getting life with a minimum of 24 years, and S. Wavy receiving a minimum of 23 years. Apparently the judge even admonished Suspect and S. Wavy for making music celebrating the death of Culprit during the sentencing. Friends and affiliates would post reacting to this news, and later, reporting would suggest that neither Suspect or S. Wavy showed any remorse or explanation for their crimes throughout the trial, and footage of Suspect settling into life in prison with Triggy would circulate after the sentencing. And eventually a picture would even surface showing Active Gang's most prominent rappers, T-Scam and Suspect, both together in jail. Meanwhile, SY, who had still managed to evade justice in Somalia, would post to his Snapchat reacting to the news with heartbreak emojis and calling to free the innocent. Ultimately, Suspect's wild story had finally come to an end, and despite what any active gang fans might say, finally justice had been delivered for Alex Smith, aka Culprit.
Like, T-Scam and Sass are now in the same jail. Aren't they just like gonna get back to their old ways? How are they gonna reform? If that's the purpose of taking someone to jail, aren't they just going to try and make a clique in there? How is any person going to reform in that kind of environment when you're in the same group that got you there in the first place? That's just crazy to me. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was not rooting for Suspect, because I was and I still am. I've not seen anybody in a long time who is as talented as Suspect. Like, this guy could do whatever he wanted in this world in terms of music. And, you know, he made a mistake. And now it's a life sentence. Hey, I ain't even got much to say after all that. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want me to react to next. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace, y'all.